The hottest new trend is here, and it's got everyone talking. What's spreading quick and makes you sick, infecting everyone? It's worldwide and many have died, but so much fun. You start to cough, then pass it off, and no one knows what to do but wash and clean and quarantine for Wuhan flu. Corona, corona, the virus infecting us all. Corona, corona, you cough and shake then fall. There is no cure, it's not secured, pandemic soon begins. But don't be scared, just stay prepared when panic settles in. It's growing fast, so wear a mask, buy plenty of extra food. But don't wait long, it's soon to be gone, and now you're screwed. Corona, corona, the virus infecting us all. Corona, corona, so let's all sing along. Corona, corona, infecting everyone. Corona, corona, the worst is yet to come. Everyone's got corona, you're gonna get it too. Come on and get corona, Wuhan flu. The Coronavirus, brought to you by Michael Bloomberg. The Requiem of the Crazies comic book. Issue number 2 is now available for pre-order.
There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. Apparently, we are talking about the same thing we were last week because my dumbass forgot to change the stream title. Go ahead.
Tried to give you a warning.
Anyway, with me as always is my trusty co-host, Ayrton McCartney, who obviously can't give me a warning. Audio, like, he could just unmute his mic and be in the middle of the song and be like, hey, fuckface, you didn't change it. And we could make a bit out of it. But no, he sends me a message that I'm not going to see because I'm running all the back end stuff. And, he put the egg on my face. Egg on my face, Ayrton. I hate it when there's egg on my face.
At least it's not semen.
Viewers of the acclaimed Frank Miller movie, The Spirit, will know exactly what I'm talking about. So how's your week been, buddy? I heard you had some great news. Yes, you can cross technical difficulties off the bingo card, Chad Middleton.
Does that count as technical difficulties, or is that boomer issue?
Go ahead and mark both of them. Fuck it.
Yeah, we're feeling generous today.
I mean, there's no prize for the bingo card, but...
Yeah, so my work is shut down to the 13th, at least, as of yesterday.
Until the 13th
I'll still be working.
Of April?
Yeah.
How will you still be working if your work is shut down?
Well, I still have, like administrative stuff that needs to be done. Like, I won't be working, my typical, 40-hour work week. But I'll at least be working until Wednesday because I'll have to close out all of our books and everything for March.
Ayrton just doing the employee performance checks, and he's just sitting there, haven't shown up for work for over a week.
I might actually write up something like that for when we open back up and give the employees. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Would it, though? Would it?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, my employees would find it funny.
Okay, well. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's...
So you guys got the big shutdown statewide, right?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I don't...
Liquor stores are still open, though.
Well, they're essential. Take it from a drunk. Those things are essential.
I mean, what was it, Thursday, I have a regular who's one of the county sheriff department guys.
Yeah.
And he came in Friday, and me and him were talking. I like to joke around with him, so like I'm on his good side, right? And
In case you ever get picked up for any of the
yeah, exactly.
multitude of crimes you are guilty of.
But yeah, I was like, "Are you having fun with all this?" He's like, "Yeah, we've been getting a lot of domestic calls." He's like, "I'm glad you guys are still open though. You're essential." And then we ended up having to close down the next day. I was like, "God damn it!"
Are they are you not an essential though, for real?
Not technically, no.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So.
And the governor up here hates tobacco, like, or nicotine in general, like with a passion, which is weird because she was also funded by Marlboro, funded her campaign. So I don't know. There's something weird going on with her and her war against anything that has nicotine in it.
I mean, did you give her a bad lay? And is it your fault specifically? Is what I'm asking.
No, but if I get the coof, I'm going to
No,
Lansing,
you're not.
No,
you're not. Nope, we're not. Nope, we're talking about Minecraft right now, folks, and he was just doing a bit. That's all that was going on there. No.
You didn't let me finish. One of the best hospitals is in Lansing.
Oh, okay. To get your treatment.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll go with that.
Because the hospitals out here suck.
I 100% agree with you. That's exactly
you
where
can
you
die
were going.
from a broken. You can die from a broken finger at the hospitals that are close to me.
Well, according to this weekend's roast of Dick Masterson on the kill stream, apparently you can also get the death penalty by having Nick Requeta defend you in a drunk driving charge or a speeding ticket. I strongly recommend, if you haven't checked that out, check out the Killstream roast of Dick Masterson and his induction into the Hall of Fame. Honestly, it's some of the funniest streams I've seen this side of 2018. Probably the only thing that even comes close to being as funny is the heel stream, and that thing's obviously.
I was going to ask how it compares to the heel stream.
It's pretty much on par, except for the fact that it's like 2.5 hours as opposed to 6.5 hours, and there was nobody singing Ram Ranch, although they did say they were going to sing Ram Ranch. So I was a little disappointed in that.
Those bastards lied to us.
They did. It looks like my streaming is going all right. YouTube is telling me that they're. Oh, I need to take the stream start soon down. See, I knew I gave them 2 points for a reason.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure how my my internet service is doing. So if there's some issues, I'm sorry, guys. Blame the people using up all the bandwidth with their Netflix and their Hulu and not watching this show.
That's right. What the fuck, people?
But anyway, back last year when we first started up the Patreon and I didn't have a way to send Ayrton money, one of the ways that I paid him was sending him a copy of the case of the Littlest umbrella and paying for the shipping. And that finally shipped out after the coronavirus, let the comic book get through customs. So we decided we would read that since we haven't read anything in several weeks. And honestly, I'm not disappointed. It's pretty much what I expected. I knew this was Tug's first foray into writing a comic, so I wasn't really expecting anything, too over the top, highly technical, deconstructionist. But what did surprise me is that my 4-year-old was actually super excited about the Little Umbrella Girl character. The artwork on the covers and inside the book, she really likes the design. Um, I'm not sure if she identified with it because it was a smaller little girl style person, or if she just liked the design. But she was very happy about it, and we read the Ashcan together because it's mostly written in poem form, almost like the Alice Carroll poem for or Lewis Carroll poem for Alice in Wonderland. Alice Carroll, where the fuck am I? I'm not even drinking yet. What's wrong with me? I do have some more Jameson Caskmate.
I was going to say, that's what's wrong with you. You haven't started drinking yet.
Right. But anyway, we decided we'd read that and review it. I was pretty happy with it. Unfortunately, I don't have a copy and I haven't scanned this in. So I have the Indiegogo page set up on the OBS. We can pull that up here. Go ahead and pull up the Indiegogo for Case of the Littlest Umbrella, Ayrton, and I'm gonna watch the video on the title page when you have it. Let me know when you've got it ready to go, and then just hit mute, and we'll start it. Actually, I don't think you have to mute if you want to comment on it. You should be okay. It doesn't come through your headphones.
Nearly there.
Are you?
Yeah, my connection sucks right now. Hold on. Getting there.
All those fucking Netflix chicks. All those why-nots.
Fuck you, people. Do something else. Read a goddamn comic book.
That's right.
Okay.
You ready?
Oh, it's loading. No.
Good.
Oh, come on. Okay, now I'm ready.
Good. All right. We're going to hit play. 3, 2, 1. It's going to buffer for a second.
Hey there. So
There we
today I want to introduce you to my project. This is the tale of the Littlest Umbrella, an all-ages Lovecraftian extravaganza celebrating things that go bump in the night. We begin with a monstrous mystery foretelling something dark and foreboding, creating a quandary requiring a special expertise that only an umbrella guy and, unknown to him, a little sidekick can employ. This is something that I've wanted to be able to do forever too, because horror as a genre is my first love, and because I recall the fascination of being first introduced to comics and remembering that books out there, they can and should be for everyone. It basically allows me to give back to that medium and to give back to people that have loved this medium with me for so long. I appreciate that there too. Another thing I want to note with this project is the quest for the Goody Bird, an Alice in Wonderland-esque exploration of an enigma that truly perplexed so many for so much time. What exactly is a Goody Bird? This will follow a tale being sung through the ages. What is the Goody Bird? What strange land does it hail from? How can we find out? Additionally, 15 special people will be able to take part in this, joining the pages of something that is bound to make you nostalgically chuckle for quite some time. So check out this project, look at it, see what you think about it, and join me as we put this thing together. And thank you. I appreciate you.
All right. So, I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, man. Every time I hear him talk, I'm expecting him to start going into like how being sodomized is against the Bible and the end of days are coming soon, and something like that.
Well,
Confess your sins, my brothers, for the end is nigh.
I do want to point out that in the grand scheme of things, I think it was closer to 25 people that got included on that portrait, but it did come out looking really cool. There's also a similar portrait of Comicsgate or CG at a time. It's almost like a snapshot of time because we all know how CG has kind of divided itself. I see Doug TeNapel on here. I see Edwin Boyette on here, alongside Ethan Van Sciver and Cecil and Richard Meyer and Yellow Flash and Nick Rekieta. I believe that's just some guy in the background. Captain Cummings, I think was his name. Um, there's Antonio Bryce. There's Ben Hennessy. There's Roe. All of these people together at the time in which this book was conceptualized, and that's all in the goodie bird. I didn't spring for you to get a copy of that because I am cheap and I wanted the exclusivity of being the only one to have it on the stream.
That's fair.
But I can say that was the. I read that to my daughter, and she was thoroughly happy with it. She thought the Renfamice and the Littlest Umbrella Girl were very cute in design. So I definitely want to take hats off and say that Tug did a very good job. What's going on? Make Europe strong again. No, it says strong, or yeah, strong, but I say strong. Now let's look at the main book, since Ayrton did get that. I don't want to cuck him for the entire show. So,
Hey, at least I got to see the Renfamice.
So, inside the book, which I believe every copy was autographed, in the front cover, do you have a Tug and a heart autograph?
Yes.
Okay. So every copy was signed. I do like that. My copy was in really good condition when it came. There were a couple of little corner dings, but that's to be expected. Usually that happens coming off the press or going onto the stapling machine. But other than that, my copy was in pristine condition. My ash can had a slight dent in the cover where it looked like somebody might have flipped through it before it got to me. But that's if it was at the top of the box, I kind of expect that. Um, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It really doesn't decrease the integrity of the book at all. And again, if you buy a comic for its resale value and its pristine condition, you're pretty much in the wrong game with these books. These books are labors of love that are meant to be seen as something that bugs in an industry that told the customers that they weren't worth creating for. So the first thing you see when you open this book up is a forward by That Umbrella Guy. Would you like to read that, Ayrton, since it has been mentioned time and again that you are the one with the aesthetic voice?
Just do my regular voice, or should I try and mimic his?
Dealer's choice, but don't take it too far. Don't get enveloped in the meme.
Okay. I'll just read it then.
Okay.
Hey there. I can't believe I'm writing my first comic forward, and yet here we are, finalizing the case of the Littlest Umbrella. It's been a wild ride and one I never thought possible, but you helped make this happen. That's right, you. Accordingly, I want to thank you for that by taking the time to personally acknowledge the hard work of our peers, contributions across platforms, and the tireless promotion and sharing. God, my lighting in here is awful. I have always loved this medium and make.
That's actually part of the forward, folks. He talked about his lighting.
It is
mid forward, yeah.
I have always loved this medium and making something that showcases my love for comics. My adoration for horror and my love for family is a dream come true. Being able to work with talented people while breathing life into something for my now 6-year-old daughter Elizabeth is beyond amazing. Looking back, I remember the simple spark that started this all.
Amazing!
With I don't know how to say that.
What?
Keung? Keung?
The dream come true. Breathing life beyond amazing. Looking back, Kong Lee. You're not
Oh,
racist.
Kung.
It's
Okay.
Kung Lei. Yeah.
Okay. And I talking about creating something to explore the concepts we have been discussing for months. The respect for consumers, the creation of products worth having and sharing, love and enthusiasm with both our families and communities. And I'm echoing. Did your headset go unplugged?
Did it?
I don't
No.
know. Am I still
No.
echoing?
No. Are you echo? Oh, are you good?
Okay, that's
I had
better.
I had taken it off and setting it down for a second to adjust my hat,
Ah, all right.
but it's really
Working
loud.
with
So
Kung Lee and Peter Gilmore has been a blast, and showcasing our creation as it developed online at conventions like Anime Matsuri and Bubba Fest has honestly been surreal. I'm grateful to be able to take ideas my daughter expressed and have fun with them, and while saying we can make something we can be proud of. I am proud of this and humbled knowing that this is the first chapter of something that can be loads of fun. There are so many people I want to thank, and if your name is not here, thank you. Do you want me to read all the thanks?
no, you're good. I just
Okay.
I wanted to put that out there because that is one thing that is kind of a sign of someone who really does appreciate the audience they've manifested. You see too often, and I'm not pointing any fingers or calling any names or anything. I don't even have a specific example in mind, but it's far too often that you see someone who comes out of a successful project and their the head just kind of balloons out of proportion. They uh, they
Right.
they kind of forget the fan base that got them to where they are, and I really feel like, regardless of how you feel about Tug's opinion, because let's be honest, Tug is a very controversial figure. I believe he, like myself, has never actually denounced Doug to Naple. We've looked at certain actions by people in anti-comic gate and judged those actions, but judging an entire person based on the actions that they did with someone else really shouldn't come into play when you think about how, just honestly, they don't affect you. Um, how Doug TeNapel feels about Ethan Van Sciver doesn't correlate to how he creates and markets his books. Doug's religious feelings don't correlate to the people that he wants to buy his books, and so on and so forth, right?
Right.
And the same goes for Ethan. The same goes for anyone creating a comic book for the most part. I dislike John Delarose. I am not his biggest fan. I don't know if that's a secret or not.
I'm
But
pretty sure that's well known.
he is a weaselly little fuck, in my opinion. Does that mean that if you read his comic, if Ayrton came to me tomorrow and said, "Hey, I got these John Delarose comic books and I think they're awesome," does that mean that I would never do a show again with Ayrton? Probably, but it has nothing to
Yes.
do with John Delarose. um, seriously though, I don't care. One person's opinions towards someone else don't affect me, and I honestly, from an outside perspective, I look at Tug, and a lot of people will call that a fence riding position, but it's just a realist one. If you go around just championing someone else and saying that the people that don't like them that you don't like, you're severely limiting yourself and your potential experiences, and that's only a crime to yourself, right? Like it doesn't affect anyone else. It's just
Right.
that's just hurting you in the long run. So anyway, all that to say that the forward in this book, it really kind of parrots what Tug says is his overall message: is that he appreciates everyone that contributes to his projects and checks out his YouTube channel and all that stuff. So you can also check out Tug's YouTube in the description down below, as well as his Twitter account. Check out his content. He's really interesting. He's got. That's right. I know how to separate church and state, motherfucker. I know how to separate church and country. I just got to get on a boat. I just need a building-sized boat. But anyway, getting into the actual review of the book. This book is split up into one main story and two backup stories. So, just to go a little unconventionally, let's look at the backup stories first. They're shorter, and I feel like we can talk about those a little quicker and then get into the main story because I have some positive and some negatives about all of this book. I'm going to be fair about it. Overall, I really
Right.
like the final project. I'm very happy with what I got. I do think that the quality of the book is there. It's really good paper stock. The cover's really nice. The condition came really well. It was shipped very well. I don't feel like I was gypped on what I paid for. Um, would I have liked it to have
Oh
been
yeah,
in
the
color?
overall like physical, yeah, the physical quality of it is superb.
Would I have liked it to at least have been in color for the amount of money it raised? Yes, but I also am happy that the artist and the colorist and the letterer and everybody that participated on this project was able to get paid. And I'm also aware that some of the funds that were held back as quote unquote profit ended up going to an express shipping option because of the coronavirus thing. All in all, I'm not disappointed. I don't feel like this was a quote unquote grift, is what you'll see a lot of anti Comicsgate saying about this book. And anyway, getting into the backup stories. The first backup story, the case of the littlest dino, that one was written in somewhat of a poem format, and
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
yeah, it was really cute. Peter Gilmore did the art and the letters on it. Kung Lee did the main story, so we'll get into his artwork. Peter Gilmore is a very versatile and talented artist. If you haven't checked him out on Twitter, I should put his stuff down there. I feel like an asshole. If you check the tweet, you'll see Peter Gilmore's tweet. If you check my Twitter, I'll add that before the end of the show. Ayrton, remind me. But
Okay.
Peter Gilmore, follow him on Twitter. He's funny as hell. He's a UK artist, and you know, even in simplistic drawings, like the case of the littlest dino, you've got a lot of attention to detail in the shading, the cross hatching, the background detail. Um, None of these are just lazy panels, quote unquote. You've even got some like half toning textures where there isn't a lot of detail just to add a little bit of depth. The entire book is written in a sing-songy poem type poem type prose, and it's almost like a prelude to the Goody Bird, if you will, because the Goody Bird again is an Alice in Wonderland, Lewis Carroll poem and styled type book. But
And there's little details that he throws in, like the ghost girl's house. There's like a picture of a ghost dad on the wall, like
yeah,
a mustache and a bowler cap and bow tie.
right.
Like little stuff like that. Really throughout everything, not just this backup story, but there's tons of little details in the back of stuff like that.
Well, this is Peter Gilmore. The main story was Kung Lee, but the second backup story was also Peter Gilmore. Um, but at a certain point in the book, they find a ghost girl, then they find a giant spider, and they go along and they find a demonic billy goat and Death himself, and I'm not even sure what the thing with the name tag is. Just has an
Yeah,
LG name tag. You never see it in its full. But Then there's Escape from Dino Island, also written or drawn by Peter Gilmore. I'm not sure who lettered it, but starring Detective
I just
Tug.
want to say
Go ahead.
the final little phrase from the Littlest Dino is, "But please remember this advice and just ignore those Remphamice."
Yes, there is some
that,
heavy.
that made me laugh so hard.
There is some heavy allusion to Comicsgate lore in this book. The problem with that,
Yeah,
and while I get it, but the problem with a book like this is that it's not going to make sense to somebody who stumbles across it in 5 years. You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
I mean,
if you weren't there
they're
in the
probably
thick
just
of
gonna.
CG, you're not going to understand these little references. And that's the only.
No, they'll just think it's some random character he thought up, like the other weird ass shit.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, I mean it works in that note, but I'm saying like the little nuance of the chuckle, like you don't get the little chuckle 5 years from now from somebody who's just stumbling across this book. If you weren't there in the thick of it
right.
for the beginning of CG, then you're not going to get this. And it's kind of the same way as people that talk about the beginning days of Gamergate. Eventually, we're going to come to a point where people like me and you are going to hear the word Comicsgate and we're going to go, "Oh God," and we're going to have war flashbacks. But
Probably.
there's a second backup story, Escape from Dino Island. It's a completely separate story, and it's also drawn by Peter Gilmore. And this is where I can definitively say that you can look at his art style and just see how versatile it is. Because the Littlest Dino is obviously drawn in a more cartoonish, more simplistic fashion. And then you flip the page, and from Escape from Dino Island, and you see these hyper detailed dinosaurs and backgrounds. And you look at every single individual line on this page, and you realize that every one of these pages is upwards of 4, 5, 6, 8 hours of a man's life.
Right.
So, the lettering in Escape from Dino Island it leaves a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. It's not a very good comic book font. I feel like the lettering
Yeah, the
could use
font
a
is
little.
kind of weird.
Well, it could use a little bit of revision because you can downsize some of these bubbles, and you get more of
Yeah.
that beautiful Peter Gilmore art. But outside, that's a minor critique, but you know, and I do like
I
where
will say one thing about it.
what
So when that umbrella guy crashes through the ceiling and he says "Hey there," and they have it in the cursive font,
yeah.
like I definitely read it way more sarcastic than the rest of his dialogue. So I
Yeah.
will give him that.
Oh yeah. But the thing is there's no central font here for the lettering. Like, the bad guy talks in one font. Tug
Right.
introduces himself in one font, and then speaks in another. And then you switch back to the second font that's even bigger because the page scale has been blown up. And then everybody has a different font, and it's a little bit jarring. It and none of the font choices are really conducive to a comic book, in my opinion. I mean, they all work at all, but I feel like it makes the text bubbles a little bit too big, and it's it's lettering from someone who's not a letterer. It's all legible,
Yeah.
so that definitely gets points. But your centering is off in some of it. Some of the text might end up running into the bubble a little bit. You can easily identify who's talking by the font, though. So again, there's points there, but maybe don't use a different font and different font sizes all throughout the book like this. I don't know. And again, it's a nitpick. It's not really this makes it terrible. The overall story is really cool.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And it's part
Yeah,
of
it doesn't take away from anything.
it's one of the only parts of the book that you actually are looking at and getting a to be continued from, and that makes me excited for the fact that there might be more of this to come in the future. So, all in
Yeah.
all, I would say that on a scale of 10, I would say a 7 or an 8 out of 10 on the backup stories. Great, great delivery. Again, the fonts kind of make me go a little bit, but and it is a beginner writer, but the fact that it's something that I can share with my kids, and there's nothing, I don't know, questionable in any of this book.
Right.
Like, there's some bad jokes and some bad grammar, but I don't have to worry about anybody getting their head pulled off in between panels. I don't have to worry about a stray f bomb anywhere in this book. So that kind of makes up points in my book. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 on those two backup stories. So they deliver on what they mean to. Even the simplistic art style has a lot of attention to detail, a lot of shading detail, a lot of line work. Peter Gilmore is definitely not a slacker on this book.
No, not at all.
Now, do you have anything you want us to talk about on the two backup stories before we get to the main story?
I think you pretty much covered it. I mean, like he's just insane, the level of detail that he put into some of these pages, like the shot of the volcano starting to erupt.
Right.
Like every single one of those trees, like that had to have taken him so long to do all that. And you can really see the, again, like I think we mentioned that this was Cyberfrog too. You can really see that these books are labors of love when you
Yeah.
get these.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing to note.
Oh, 100%. And the fact that it's a first-time comic writer, I forgive a lot more than I will on the second project. If that makes sense. Like, I feel like Tug he's got a lot of talent, and he's got a lot of ability to basically pull his own version of what Act Cop was by helping illustrate the stories of his daughter. Um, the only criticisms that I'll give is that maybe do a little bit more as far as your editing goes, and make sure you're not as repetitious. Make sure you don't miss any typos, which I will get to. There was one that stood out to me. I don't know if there was more. I didn't go through this with a fine tooth comb looking for something to be wrong, but there is one glaring typo that just kind of stood out to me because they tried to use darn tootin', and they used dark tootin'.
Oh, right.
But if you're gonna have a typo, try and slip it in somewhere where it's not gonna be as obvious, because darn tootin', that's an old Looney Tunes comic reference. Like, nobody says that anymore, so people are gonna look at it funny to begin with. But this is an indie project by a non-professional to begin with, who did a very professional level job of creating and fulfilling this. So let's jump into the main story.
Yeah.
As it said in the video we looked at earlier, this opens up with a mystery of a writer who wakes up every morning to find his writing vandalized and scribbled over. And he just goes more and more insane as it continues to happen. He senses an entity, and it's written again in a poem prose style. I don't know if that's something similar with Lovecraft's work. To be honest, I'm not as familiar with Lovecraft as I should be, but I intend to get there. Just let me get through with my backlog of work, please. This is the first comic book I've read in over a month. For God's sake, please give me time. But it is met with one of my favorite things, one of my favorite comic tropes of all time, and that is the quote unquote second cover. When you're going through the story and you get the soft intro, and then it gives you the full splash panel, and the quote unquote secret cover, if you will, written by Kung Lee and That Umbrella Guy, illustrated by Kung Lee. So it opens up and you're introduced to Detective Umbrella Guy, and it's just an umbrella masked figure in a vest suit with no overcoat, and he's getting a talking to for not cleaning up by a man with a squid face. This just played completely straight and never explained. Like Tug's boss is a guy that basically makes what's his name from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies? Davy Jones.
Davy Jones.
Make Davy Jones. He looks like a Davy Jones in his mid-30s as opposed to his 60s. Like if Davy Jones in the Pirates movies was in his 60s, this would be Davy Jones in his 30s when he was still able to wear suspenders and his tentacles haven't gotten out of control because he still gave a fuck. That's what Tug's boss looks like, and nobody questions it. So you're immediately
and his name is
his name is
and
Bill
his name is just Bill
because you can't pronounce his real name. It doesn't even tell you what it is. It just affirms that you can't pronounce it. Fuck you. You're too stupid. But it's played completely straight.
I think Bill's my favorite.
I love that. So they're describing the job that they're sending Umbrella Guy on, and they're sending him south. Like they don't really give an idea of where he's going. It's a little ways south of wherever the fuck they are. Like they give us no point of reference. But it's a little ways south of there. So
in my brain, it's Area 51. But
yeah, but that means they're in Mexico by the time they go a little ways south, right?
Well, no, you could be in Arizona or New Mexico.
Well, New Mexico is Mexico. Arizona is basically just New Mexico, which is basically Mexico. Fuck you, Ayrton. You're not saying anything different than what I did. But anyway, while he's explaining it, you get a shot of a maid who is walking through a room with eyeballs all over the walls. They call it a Category 1 event, which I can only imagine means that it's not very serious. But Tug is followed to the job by a mysterious figure, and we soon discover that this figure is his, daughter, which he only refers to as Little One. So I'm assuming her canonical name is Umbrella Girl, but I don't know. So that's a little bit of a critique right there.
Yeah.
But you never name your secondary main character. You gotta work on that branding, my boy.
I mean, at the same time, though, you're just thrown in with Bill. So
well, look, I can
her just being called Little One.
I can take
makes sense. Like I get it in the world.
I can take playing Bill completely straight. What I can't take is not naming your own child. Also, Ethan Van Sciver gets a name drop. Bill mentions going by Van Sciver's Atlas of Eldrick's ley lines, the energy in the surrounding area is pretty weak. So that's really one of the first and only times that happens. So it kind of would have been a fun gimmick if it would have been repeated, but it feels a little bit heavy-handed. It doesn't bother me, but the fact that we don't know who Van Sciver is, he's never mentioned again. It's like I said, it's a little bit heavy-handed. Like again, if you're part of this sphere, then you get it. But if you pick this book up 5 years from now from somebody selling it on eBay or a reprint copy, and you're not involved in Comicsgate drama, you might not know who Van Sciver is. That's the only reason I call it heavy-handed.
Yeah.
The dialogue is a little clunky in the beginning, but it kind of clears up towards the end. So I'll give it points on that. It's almost like in Flying Fortress where you saw the creator kind of growing as time went on. I just feel like that growth happened in between edits for Tug. That makes sense. Like he would get a couple of pages and he would kind of pick up on the critiques that he might have gotten. And I don't know what his process was. He may have never gotten an edit and written it all in one go and sent it to print. But to me, it feels like he wrote a few pages, sent them off to an editor, just had somebody give their 2 cents on them, and then got the pages back and took that critique and carried it with him into writing the next few pages. Because it gets like the dialogue and the text bubbles get a little tighter as the story goes on. Like they kind of fall into a rhythm.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that, and then I realized like I hadn't looked at how clunky the text was over the last half of the book. Like it hadn't even occurred to me or bothered me. So I'll give that a pass for the simple fact that it clears itself up as it goes on. There's a small side story in Little Umbrella Girl finding a mini Cthulhu demon with a band-aid on its head. That's absolutely adorable, and my daughter absolutely loved, even though she thought the Eldritch monster chasing Tug was creepy. Um, there are a lot of missed opportunities for exposition and dialogue or one-liners in some of these pages. They're very sparse. Out towards the middle of the book,
It was very dialogue light once you kind of started getting into what was happening.
yeah, and again, that kind of gives me more of an idea that people were looking at it and going, "Hey, maybe don't just word vomit all over the book." And he took that to heart, but maybe a little too much, because during the scene where he's running away from the eldritch spider monster with what seems like 53 eyes and teeth, there's a really cool action sequence where there's a stone bridge in the middle of a hotel, and you have no idea how that got there. Maybe a quip explaining that these are eldritch hallucinations or something would have been interesting, but again, it's not bad. Uh, but the overarching plot is that Little Umbrella Girl finds a book with a what she calls a terribly handwritten, uh, you know, unscary story, and vows to finish it and make it better. But before she can, get to that point, her and her little eldritch baby friend fall off of a cliff that's breaking onto the head of a monster and are saved by her umbrella. And we get some great and horrible umbrella puns. Um, there's a point with butter at the end, and you can kind of see where there's the eldritch horror and the idea of retelling your own child's stories. Again, it's very cute. It does exactly what it intends to. Um, all in all, I think that it's absolutely what you expect out of a Comicsgate book from a first time writer, and the artwork is absolutely phenomenal. It's very consistent. The Even the perspectives are are consistent. You don't have Tug being disproportionate from one panel to the next. Umbrella Girl and her little companion are proportionate. The Eldritch horrors actually, you know, span out across the page, and they're colored in a way that makes them seem more menacing. Uh, I don't have a lot bad to say about this book. There are a couple of points where again it feels a little heavy handed. The dialogue could use a little bit of work in certain areas, but I feel like that kind of came across in the creation of the book. So I really don't have a problem with it. Uh, let's see.
Well, and I'll
Go ahead.
I'll make one counterpoint. So some of those heavy-handed references and stuff. I mean, if you go back and think about his forward, like clearly what he had in mind were people like us that have been like in this kind of cesspool of shit for the last however long now. So I mean, I get what you're saying. Like if some random person picks it up several years from now, it's going to make no sense to
It's
them.
not gonna. It's not
But
gonna age well, basically.
right. But it wasn't. That's not necessarily what it was written for. It was written for like us.
Yeah,
If that. If, so I mean, it's charming in
but you
its kind of campiness in the way he
well,
does the references.
let me argue with that just real quick because I'm really good at that.
I know.
In that video, what did he say? This is an all ages for everyone book, not just for people that have been involved in Comicsgate from the get go.
Right.
So we have to look at it in the sense of, well, what if I don't know anything about Comicsgate? First off, I'm not going to get that Van Sciver reference. I'm definitely not going to get most of the references in the Goody Bird. I don't mind that personally. I think it's a great book. It really it's almost like a time capsule of Comicsgate to me. It is something that you can kind of look at and say, this is what encapsulates 2018 Comicsgate in the beginning. These are the main players. This was a time when someone who had never written or worked on a comic book ever before was able to successfully crowdfund $100,000 plus comic book, and
Right.
that's something neither you or I can say anything about. Like, at no point were either one of us capable of doing something like this. I don't know that we ever would be. Not discounting it, but the thing is, like, that was a different time in the industry right now.
Yeah.
Nowadays we're looking at situations where people will just grift you out of your money. They'll slap shipping labels directly on your book and ship it like a fucking magazine. What? Uh, I mean, all of these things have happened. They'll walk away with your money and you just won't get anything, and they'll hide behind Indiegogo's. Well, this isn't technically a purchase; it's a contribution. You might not get anything, motherfucker. What? Don't play with me. I paid for something. I want it. But people that backed what was it, Detective Dead, um, by Critias, they're not getting their book. So, uh, but no, all in all, it's really good. I feel like it accomplished exactly what it was meant to. My 4-year-old daughter and I read this evening before the show. She really enjoyed it. She liked the Umbrella Girl character. She liked the little Cthulhu baby with the band-aid on his head.
Which is a which is absurdly cute.
It
Like
is.
it should not be that cute.
It shouldn't be, but it is, and I'm glad for it. She liked the little baby dinosaur. Um, all in all, I think this kind of, and it goes to show. I've shown a lot of comic books to my kids. My son routinely steals my Spider-Man and Captain America comics that he can get his hands on. Uh, but this is the first comic book that my oldest daughter has expressed an interest in. Um, I've got a copy of Bigfoot Bill and a copy of Earthworm Jim. I feel like maybe those two would be something she would be interested in. And then I'll try Bric-a-Brac with her and see if she enjoys that. But the fact that she could kind of identify with this and it was written in a way that I could read it to her without having to censor myself, I'm really happy about that. I think that's something Doug should be really proud of because you didn't have to
Oh
use
yeah,
any edgy boy language. You didn't have to use any insulting words. Um, there was nothing negative in this book, and I'm really happy about that. Not to say there's anything negative in any of the Comicsgate books we've looked at, but in a book that had an add-on that was basically a mockery of what we considered anti-Comicsgate back in 2018, are mainly people that have become stupendously irrelevant now. But again, time capsule. You had the opportunity to be tremendously negative in a funny light, and he took the high ground and didn't even go that far. The
yeah,
most the most insulting thing is don't listen to these people in the main book. My best advice is ignore the Renthamice. Like that's wholesome.
right.
You know, that's wholesome as fuck.
Yeah, and it
So
made me laugh.
yeah. So I mean, all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm again the main story, minus those few critiques that I had, it was definitely better lettered than the last backup story. Um, lettering was really on point, but again, I'm really picky about my lettering at this point. Now that I notice it, have you
Right.
have you noticed that at all? By the
Which,
way,
damn you.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yes.
have you noticed that that you actually like actively critique comic books as you're reading them now, instead of just like reading
Yes.
them like a normal human being?
And it's super annoying because sometimes I just want to sit down. I go to the resale shop and I get like a bunch of comics for like a buck or whatever. I just want to sit down and read some stuff. And I'm sitting there like just staring at the one page, like looking at all this shit. I'm like, God damn you, church! I just want to sit down and just read something.
Yeah, but now you can pretend to be an intellectual. Start using words
Right?
like, oh, there was a Saturday sunset. This son of a bitch started the Saturday sunset at 10:30. Fuck you, Ethan Ralph.
Hey, the fuck?
uh, I mean, it's pretty good timing.
Well,
We're
yell at
about
him for
done with this.
taking our time slot on.
Well, we're about done with this review. And we got a couple of loose stories we can talk about. We got a guest for tomorrow night. I don't think I've announced formally yet.
Oh, do we?
We do. We do. Someone with an active campaign.
Nice. I
Let's
like how I'm
see.
always the last to know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you booked any guest, maybe you'd look at the booking calendar.
I
But
mean, I booked Ken Meyer.
that's because I literally took a hands-off position. I literally made you do it.
Well, I think it was because he just for some reason DM'd me instead of you.
Yeah,
and then
probably.
and then just like
Well, you have a face in your profile picture. People trust you.
that's that's fair.
I'm literally a transformer building. No final blackout on Twitter, who is criminally undersubbed. Go check him out at no final blackout, no spaces. His username is Friends Blackout, and then Smash Comics Nobodies Indiegogo 2020. Talking about his Indiegogo project, Smash Comics, The First Dump, and the Nobodies. So you have two options.
All right.
The Nobody's physical copy. I'll pull this up real quick. He'll be on tomorrow night with us. Also, next Saturday, I expect at least a short call in from a very special high profile guest. That
Okay, so that is going down next Saturday.
oh, do you know what I'm talking about? Did Denny tell you as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, yeah. When you were at work and he couldn't get a hold of you, he DM'd me and was like, "Hey, will that work for you guys?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." So yes,
Disavow my
I'm up to date on that one.
co-host.
So you see that notification, but not the or the Discord DM.
Well, I don't want to be, on blast on Ralph's timeline like you apparently do. Have you seen how he lights motherfuckers
Yeah.
up? Like, do you really want that?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
You're gonna have a bunch of furries and fucking Bernie Bros following you after this. It'll be great.
We'll have a whole new demographic to our audience.
Well, you will. I'll block them. I'm kidding. But Nobody's physical copy, $10. Smash Comics physical copy, $10. Line art variant for Smash Comics, $10. One of each, 15 for the regular. Calendar of Shakes, $20. The 2021 calendar. Oh, $21. Excuse me. Two of each, $30, and be in the comic is $57 with 3 spots left. I might have to get in on that and throw him a curveball and make him draw a building. It's almost
You
worth.
would.
It's almost worth the $57.
just to see what he does with it.
Just to see what he does with it. Yeah. Would he make me a human-sized mechanical church, or would I keep my scale? But anyway, yeah, friends, No Final Blackout will be on with us tomorrow. He has already reached his $429 flexible goal. There's 21 days left. He may be able to extend it. He'll definitely be able to go in demand. A couple of updates. He's added some perks. Stretch goal number 1. Let's look at his stretch goals. What kind of? I mean, we're going to go through this in full tomorrow, but I want to see his stretch goals.
Yeah.
10K knock, which is 1,000 USD. Everybody gets a free copy of Lord Byron's one-shot book, Terry Tough Cunt. At $1,500. At $1,500. Wait, he doesn't have anything. There's nothing written there. At $1,700, I'll sign all the copies of Smash Comics. Additional 2 pages on Smash Comics, and more stretch goals will be announced. What the fuck's when my arms get unrealistically realistic? That's fantastic. But yeah, we will have this guy on the show tomorrow, so tune in for that. I'm not sure how long that'll go because our time, 10 p.m., is like 4 a.m. his time, so he is graciously going to forego sleep to be on the Gospel of Comics. So definitely be sure to tune in for that, guys. Oh, Dillard draws just.
Oh yeah, this will be fun.
Hey, so as soon as I start talking about No Final Blackout, did you know how to separate the church and the state? Hey, Strong. Blackout, hey, that's me. Hey, Blackout, I hope this day finds you well. Dillard just got here. Dillard, you still have to come on and debate me about something. Gate kept, yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're locked out of the chat. Just join in the waiting room, buddy. Oh, there you are. There you go. Dillard. Hey, I was just talking shit about you. What? And you're muted. What the fuck, you boomer motherfucker?
Hey,
Talk about being gate kept out of the chat. Hey there.
And we have Tug in our chat.
Why should I give you the benefit of hearing my beautiful melodious voice when you have me locked out of the chat?
You kind of have to be an admin to get in here. So I mean, I don't trust you to gatekeep my Discord. So you have to sit in the waiting room like everybody else. By the way, how's it going, Tug? Thanks for dropping by, man. Really enjoyed the books. Had a few criticisms, But for the most part, I feel like you accomplished exactly what you set out to, and my 4-year-old and I really enjoyed the Goody Bird. So hats off there. Opal's Moonchild,
And
how's it going,
your
Opal?
and Tug, your little baby Cthulhu dragon monster is absurdly cute, and I kind of hate how cute it is,
Yes, 100%.
but love it at the same time.
Yes, you are very meta on a live stream, commenting on a live stream. That is absolutely fantastic.
Am I missing something here? I don't get it.
Yes.
Are you reading the chat? Are you too
For
good
what?
to read the chat? You're too good to
This
read
is
the
your
chat.
show. Why would I read the chat?
So you'd know what the fuck was going on, Dillard. Jesus Christ.
I ain't gotta do shit.
So what's the debate going to be on between you two? We need to schedule this.
Dick Cheese.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna win. I'm pro Dick Cheese.
I am anti Dick Cheese, as are most sane people. I apologize, Tug.
Well, I don't normally taste it, so why would I be against it?
Dillard showed up, and the show goes off the rails. But we did get through the review before this happened, so just the first hour of the show is kosher. How's it been going, man? How's the Canadian Shield and the Buckler project coming? Are you finishing your Ash?
It's going fantastic. Actually, I only have one page left to do.
Okay.
And I'm sitting back here thinking about how I'm gonna end the last page, what the cliffhanger is gonna be, because there's gonna be a mighty cliffhanger.
Well, you've already drawn it. Just have me like waking up in the background. Like have me as a church in the background of the second to last page, and then in the last page I start waking up like in that page you sketched out, and that's the end of the book.
I'm gonna need a considerable contribution to put you in my beautiful book.
I've 37 cents in my pocket. I can mail you.
He'll spend more on the stamp than he'll actually send you.
So if you you want me to ruin my pages with your ugly mug, I'm gonna need something in return.
Well, it's just my meta mug. Like my meta mug is prettier than my real one. If I was actually going to pay you money, I'd want my real face in there.
But I'm working on the next show for the Gauntlet. We have a guest lined up.
Oh,
We just kind of like how we put your last guest through the Gauntlet. We got somebody else lined up.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to be a much bigger, more elaborate show this time.
How did our previous guest do in the Gauntlet? For those at home.
Oh, he almost got in a fist fight with Model 316.
Well, I mean that's to be expected, isn't it?
Yeah.
Him or
Because
Reagan
the
won.
show. Here's the thing: the show is built in such a way that everybody wants to kind of say what they want to say, but everybody's too nice. So if you provide that atmosphere of we're being raw and honest, and if your book is trash, we're going to tell you it's trash. People will just open up, and because that's how it's being done, the floodgates will open up. And I will say that your guests they were very, very professional about it.
Okay.
They took it for a lot longer and a lot better than I thought they would.
Oh man, that's rough, man. Why would you do this to my guests? Like,
Well, they weren't your guests; they're my guests.
but they were mine first. Like, you're just dick riding me at this point.
Well, yeah.
Chad Middleton says that Church will send you toilet paper if you draw him in there.
That's
Oh,
right.
I got plenty of TP. You kidding me?
But have you got that famous triple ply though?
Triple? No. I have Cottonelle
No, you got to have triple ply.
with the waves.
You got to have Charmin
What's-
triple ply ribbed for her pleasure.
Oh my! No. My defecation isn't that toxic. 2-ply is just fine for me.
That's a fucking
Now
pleb.
let's see. Matt says Matt says Dillard sounds like Beetlejuice, and then Strog says say his name 3 times and see if he disappears.
That's right. Say his name 3 times, chat, and I'll just kick him. How about that? I'll just make the meme. Just comes in shit talking like he owns the place. I love you, Dillard. Blackout.
Am I not coming through my correct microphone? I don't know.
No, you're coming through fine. You just sound like Beetlejuice.
No, you sound fine.
Yeah,
like if I talk right here, can you hear me real clear?
Yeah, you sound clear to begin with. Like you just sound like Michael Keaton in Beetlejuice. That's not a bad thing.
Well, shut up. Michael Keaton's one of the great unsung actors of our time.
Have you noticed that anytime he's in a comic book movie, he has to play someone with wings or wings adjacent?
Have you noticed that anytime Michael Keaton's in anything, he fucking hits a home run?
The Vulture, Harvey Birdman, Batman. All of his superhero movie appearances have been winged characters or winged adjacent characters.
Yeah, Make Europe Strong Again says 3-ply. Sounds like toilet clogger. Yeah. Because you get these people, these comic book nerds, like these guys here. They got they're gigantic men. They eat garbage all day long and they blow up their toilet every day.
That's what we call projection on the stream, Dillard. Go ahead. Go ahead and
he has a steam cleaner like plugged in next to his toilet.
Well, I've installed a bidet. Thank you very much. So,
homosexual.
I just run a garden hose through my bathroom window, but
I mean, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Whatever.
And your wife just put you in the grass in the backyard and hit you with the hose.
Look, we don't air out people's fetishes on stream, Dillard. Please calm down.
So what's black? Everybody's talking about Blackout in the chat. What's Blackout?
Blackout is a guest that's going to be on the stream
Blackout,
tomorrow.
I believe is the question you're looking for.
No, man, don't misgender him. He is the Blackout.
I didn't know I was looking for a question.
But
what is it?
Blackout is the guest on the show tomorrow. He's doing the comic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is it good?
I mean,
Does he want to be on the gauntlet?
Stop trying to poach our guests, goddammit.
I gotta find. It's getting harder and harder to find people that don't know the kind of shenanigans I get up to.
I mean, should I just go around warning people? Is that what
I need young and impressionable people though, willing to come on my show and get lambasted.
I'm gonna put the link in show links for you, Dillard, because you're too good to watch the chat. I'm gonna put it in show suggestions.
You're gonna put the no. I'm here watching the chat right now. That's why I said the chat's talking about Blackout.
You're finally not too good to watch.
Do you remember about 4 seconds ago when I said the chat is talking about Blackout?
No, I'm an alcoholic. I don't do shit. Fuck you.
Well, now we know we got the 3-ply. That's where it comes into place.
That's right. I mean, if you're gonna try and get me, you got to get up a lot fucking earlier than that. Goddamn.
Chad Middleton says, "Sacrifice Blackout to the gauntlet."
Sacrifice. Look. The church is forgiving. The church is merciful. We don't sacrifice anybody. However, if you want to go on the gauntlet, be my guest. Just understand, Dillard's a degenerate and deserves no quarter.
This is a common fallacy. This is a common misconception about Dillard. Dillard is not a degenerate. Dillard is just honest. That's all. I can't abide.
Then why can I see a hooker tied up to your chair behind you?
You can't see nothing. I turned my camera off for a reason.
Turn the wrong camera off, Dillard. You're going live right now with the hooker tied to the chair in the background, buddy. We see what you're doing with that feather.
Well, these bimbos are cheap right now because of the coronavirus.
Look, I got some mail order brides. Buy two, get one. You spray them down with Lysol when they get here. They're fine.
Hey, you buy 2, get 4 viruses.
Oh, man. Are you...
No, you just have to have a quarantine bubble for them for 20 days after they get here.
You're out in California, aren't you, Dillard?
I'm sorry. What was that? What?
I said you're out in California, right?
No, California.
No, California. You're not saying it right. The Red
Oh,
Scare
I'm
state.
sorry. I guess Arnold Schwarzenegger got me saying it correctly. I guess.
No, he didn't. He doesn't understand. He's too busy having daughters with his mistress maids. Hold on. How's the shit going on down there? Because you guys are like what, stay at home ordered statewide right now?
Yes, it's only essential travel.
So you get to go to the grocery store.
Which
like
sucks
what?
because I still got to go to work.
Do you? What do you do for a living?
What?
Like
I
just
deliver
broadly.
eggs.
You deliver AIDS?
I deliver eggs.
AIDS.
I deliver huevos, the eggs, to
Oddly
Costco,
specific.
Winco, Sam's Club, Trader Joe's.
Like just eggs? Nothing
Just
else?
eggs. Just
Just
pallets
eggs.
and racks of eggs.
Does it say just eggs on the box of your truck? Please tell me it does.
How many times does Brittany Venti order from you a week?
No, we actually have a slogan on the side of the truck that says it has a chicken giving you the middle finger, and it says, "If you want eggs any fresher, we'd have to give you the bird."
Nice. I like it. No, I guess the Brittany Venti joke just kind of went over everyone's head. So,
Nobody knows who that is.
well, yeah, I mean, you're
I know
not
who that
wrong.
is. I don't get the egg reference.
Well, all of her eggs are wasted now, so she's trying to replace her lost eggs by eating all the eggs. It's it was a bad Dick Master.
He says California or Mexifornia works. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's racist.
Well, we're trying really like putting our nose to the grindstone because we're trying to breed out all the white people in California, and we're doing a pretty good job. We're already 56% Hispanic here in California. So if things keep going our way, soon there'll be no pure-blooded white people left in California.
I think I know some people that might have a problem with that. Me, I personally don't give a shit. I think we should just wait for the earthquake that's going to break California off of the mainland America and just, kick it out. Honestly, Puerto Rico is what California really wants to be, and they've got their shit more together. So we'll just induct Puerto Rico into being actually a state and get rid of California. We'll give California to Cuba or something.
I can dig
What
it.
is that? Don't you have a big like fault line right where you're at?
Yes, but we're not close to the coast, so we're not worried about being separated from the country.
Yeah, but isn't that fault line going to split the United States in twain and you're going to be underwater?
Not my problem. I'll be dead by then.
I won't be.
Not my problem. I'll make sure my kids move away from Arkansas, and I'll be dead long before then because my liver will have turned to stone.
What liver?
Exactly. Yeah, my buddy came over yesterday, and we went and got a bottle of bourbon, and we drank probably 5 or 6 shots apiece before he stopped drinking so that he could legally drive home under the legal limit. And afterwards, later on that evening, I finished the bottle of bourbon. And he called me today. He was like, "You want to finish that bottle?" I was like, "I already did." What? I was like, "Yeah, I drank it." "How's your liver?" "Rock solid." So, that happened. I'm not sure if I should be proud of that or check into AA. But all the AA meetings are dismissed because of the goddamn coronavirus.
Be proud of that one.
I can't even go to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Just remember that.
So what did you come on for, Dillard? Like you were just completely you were just completely I don't know what's the word I'm looking for.
Throwing a bitch fit to let you in the show?
Yeah. So you got to have something. What's your rage?
No, that's pretty much it. See, the thing is, I sit around and I look at all these groups that I'm a part of on Discord and DM Twitter groups and all this stuff. And when I see something that I haven't been invited to or have been gatekept from, I go into the chat and I throw a bitch fit.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'm basically
We
stopping
haven't
you from.
kept you. We've had you on probably more than anybody else.
We actually enjoy your company, you fuck. Are you trying to fuck that up?
If there's any point in where I'm not actually actively invited or thought about, or if my name isn't on people's lips, I get very upset and I throw a fit.
I mean, that's actually great marketing.
You have befriended a diva, my friend.
Everybody go check
Now
out
you
the
know.
Buckler and the Canadian Shield on Indiegogo. How's that going, by the way? When's that set to start fulfilling?
I'm assuming as soon as Rick gets paid.
Where's my where's my fucking book and my ash can, Dylan? Where's my book and my ash can, you bastard? Paid $80
Well,
live on air.
As far as from me, I'm not done yet with the Buckler. I have one more page
Oh.
to do.
Oh, I got
Then
you.
I have to go through and letter it. I believe the colorist is about halfway done.
Are you sure you can fucking spell to get the lettering done? I'm kidding.
I mean, that is
No,
what spell
I
check's
have
for.
I have an editor.
Oh, okay. I was giving you shit and you just fucking fed into it. I love it.
Well, yeah. The thing is, I use a lot of big words, but because I heard them on TV, I don't know how to spell them.
Oh, okay. I think you just described.
I just assume every single word bubble just says punk ass bitch, and then you send it to the editor and they fill in the proper text.
No, you're not 100% wrong.
You just put in parentheses something exciting, and you expect your editor to fill that shit in.
I do. I just, I type in there, say something profound here. And,
Dillard, aren't you supposed to be writing this? You're paying me to edit the book, not write it. Fuck you! Do your job! Do you see this?
You for? Do your job, asshole.
Do you see this hooker? This could be you. Flashback humor. See?
Just tying it all together in a nice little bow.
That's right. So, no. What's
that's my bias. I can't abide writers. That's my bias.
What's your next project after the Buckler and the Canadian Shield, my friend?
The next project is a solo full-length Buckler book called Buckler Ascendancy, and it's pretty deep. It gets in there.
You should do a 3-part book: Buckler Ascension, Buckler Descension, Buckler Ascension again. Basically, the rise and fall and rise again of the Buckler.
Well, the book right now, the ash can is called.
That's
Buckler.
just stupid enough to work.
It is because the ash can is called Buckler Descent.
Oh, okay.
And,
but no, you're gonna have the rise, the fall, and the rise again.
Well,
or is there going to be a prequel book? Is it going to be a prequel book?
There's going to be
original rise.
This is
the original ascent of the
ash
Buckler.
can is the prequel,
but that's the descent.
And there's going to be Buckler Ascension, and then Buckler Into Darkness.
Oh, so it's the fall, the rise, and the fall again,
and then the rise.
Oh, okay. That last book's just going to be a 2-page backup story of him getting an erection. Oh, I apologize.
Because like Dillard needs any more twisted ideas.
You're welcome.
No, the story is actually it's very touching. It's very heartfelt.
I don't want you touching me anywhere.
It's gonna touch you right in your heart. It's gonna pull on all the strings you don't want it to pull on. You're gonna cry.
Oh God. What is wrong with you people?
Just reach in, grab the tampon string, and just rip it right out. Is that what you're going for?
Yeah, I actually I sent the script to 2 people.
Why
and one of them was like, "Fuck you for doing that to me. That was devastating."
Why am I ruining this internet brand that I've built up on Twitter by hosting these fuckers on YouTube? Oh man, I should be like Poe and just stay in my lane.
Yeah, no, you should.
Because what else are you gonna do on a Saturday night?
You should take your 4 watchers and just leave.
Oh God.
Oh, correction, 5.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Nah,
right.
I don't know. One of them's me. I don't know.
I do.
I was being
do have to-
reprimanded for not watching the chat.
I was gonna say I got to talk to you off air. I got to get that that sketch you did of the church finalized. I got to get that done. Like we gotta work on that as an actual commission.
Oh, great! Cross Comics is here.
Hey Rick, go ahead and get in the waiting room. We got to get you to rein in your cohort here. if we're gonna do a proper 2-hour show. You sure you wish to exit? Nah. We're gonna do a proper 2-hour show. I need you here for the last half hour of it. Somebody needs to apologize.
Where'd Dillard go?
Tried to escape, did you, Dillard? Wait, he's just dead. Dillard died. Sorry, guys.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah. F in the chat, boys.
How I don't get it.
Huh?
He's back.
You
Damn
weren't
it.
saying anything.
Nobody was addressing me. This isn't
I
my
did.
show. Why do I gotta carry your show?
People, I mean, you demanded to come on to carry my show. But now that you're back,
And his name is John C.
You gotta
You've
warn
got
me.
your own
You gotta at least let me take out one of my earbuds for that.
no, not at all. Not at all. I'm wearing headphones that are turned all the way up. I can't even take one of them out. It would just make my neck wobble. Wobble, baby,
Yeah,
wobble.
yeah, that's what makes your neck wobble.
That is correct. It's not the turkey that I always eat. But yeah, Rick Piper, go ahead and get in the waiting room. I'll drag you in, buddy. If you want to. If not, we can just let Dillard carry the day. But he is definitely defaming you and running your name through the ground as we speak. I'm pretty sure
He's probably used to that by now, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that anytime he speaks, the value of Cross Comic stock just goes down 5% because we don't have the true Canadian Shield here to defend it. We only have the failed sidekick, the Buckler. I'm kidding. Like what?
Nothing from you?
Well, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the true blue hero to come in and save this live stream.
You fucking guy.
I'm actually trying to find a picture of the Buckler cover so I can send that to you.
Yeah, you want me to get that pulled up as soon as you send it to me? Just tell me where you drop it, and I'll get it in there. I will take this moment to say, everybody send your thoughts and well wishes to Danielle, who is infamous in our chat. She is having some complications that may or may not be related to Corona-chan. So, keep her in your thoughts. If you're praying sort, keep her in your prayers. So yeah, the closest the church has been hit by Corona-chan so far, but we're just kind of seeing how it goes and hoping the best for her. But we will keep everyone apprised. But hopefully she is incorrect. What's going on, Rick? You're responding in the chat, but you're not. Oh, there you are. How's it going, buddy?
Good. Yourself?
Getting ready to talk some shit, and you show up and just fuck my whole bit up. I love it.
And then Dillard, for some reason, put his cover in the Corona-chan chat.
Well, I mean, Dillard, as is his artwork, is a plague. So
That's
All
fair.
right, this is what I'm working on for the new gauntlet. I also put that in the Corona-chan.
It is actually a beautiful cover. So let me get that pulled up for people here. This is a gorgeous cover. So
it's the epic noir event of the century, the gala event. You got to put on your top hat and monocle.
The gay event.
That's right.
Yes.
Say what you will.
Event.
about John Dillard and how awful he is, and you won't be
Don't
wrong.
say what you will.
But-
Keep your tongue in check.
But no, say what you will about how awful John Dillard is as a human being, but as an artist, he is absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, that's true, but
I'm gonna have to induct you into the Gospel Hall of Fame and just continue to bite Ralphie towards the bits, and induct you into the Gospel Hall of Fame and get a bunch of comic.
I sure do wish I knew what you were talking about. You say it, Prudy.
That's right. That's right.
Are you saying Church has a pretty mouth?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the first time he said that to me, Ayrton.
That's fair.
Well, did you see my new small little animation? That's nothing spectacular for the Canadian field, but
It's better than my cover. Let's see it. I want to see it.
Oh God!
No, I haven't.
Are we dick measuring now, boys? Is John dick measuring?
Yeah, I'll put it in general.
Sucker.
I gotta make sure. For some reason, Rick.
Let me put it in general, like they want me to.
For some reason, Rick is really quiet and John is really loud. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, I just turned him up on my end.
This is just real life. I'm sorry.
That's probably true.
So that picture I sent underneath this cover, that's how we're going to be formatting the new Gauntlet show.
I see
And
that. I'm
we're
not
gonna
going to
have
spoil that
a
for
series
the
of judges.
for the audience, but
Okay, that's fine. But we're going to have a couple of different judges that are all going to have their own avatars, and they kind of cycle through, and it's animated. It's awesome.
I like it. You're gonna have to do me an overlay like this.
The only thing
Okay.
it's
I'll
running
pay-
hell on my CPU, so I got to figure out how to make it a little bit more less intensive.
Just what program are you using?
Clip Studio and OBS.
No, for your art you're doing Clip Studio.
Yep.
Export it as a PNG low res. Like just
Well, the thing is, it's animated.
oh, it's anime. Okay.
That fire in the back is actually moving around and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's gonna fuck your CPU. Yeah.
Everything else is all JPEG. It's all in layers. It's real simple. Without the fire, it's like it sits at like 0.3 to 1.1. But with the fire on, it's like at 7.9.
Nice.
Okay, so I just animated thing is in it's a gift in
Oh, this is much better than your cover, Dillard. Like, I'm sorry.
So much better.
This is the
Let me
best.
see. Is it not showing yet? Is it a delay or what's going on?
I don't know. You might have a 20-second delay. It's on screen. It's in the general. Like, I don't know how much more I can help you. This is.
oh, there it is.
I could just watch this over and over. This is fantastic.
That's what everybody on the stream is doing.
Oh my god.
This animation great, guys.
What?
How do we have more viewers now than when we were actually reviewing the book?
Because this is what people come here for here, not any of our intellectual take. They come here for when I'm shit drunk and we have Dillard on the stream just raising hell.
But
don't
Rick,
come-
what is he doing?
He's just supposed to be running, from further back to.
He's running without moving his legs. He's moon running.
He's that
And what is this? What is this darker blue building that he's running from?
Oh no,
That's the great-
I just.
That's the Great Wall of Canada. That's where they keep the Americans out.
If you cannot tell, I skewed the. This is the background without the trees. That I just skewed the cover. I took the trees out.
Now, Rick, I've got to know.
So it would fit.
I've got to know, Rick. How does the American ban affect your ability to hand deliver a $1,500 backing to your book?
I get. Since nobody got it, it doesn't affect it at all. But if it did, it would probably just affect it by I'd have to do it a month or two later, or whenever the ban gets lifted.
What if that's unacceptable by Comicsgate standards?
That's right. I'm fucking around. It shouldn't be. I don't think anybody wants you going on a. Nobody wants you going on a Corona-Chan pilgrimage.
Yeah. I don't think there's much. Myself, I don't think there's much to worry about there, but.
Oh, Jesus
97
Christ.
minutes you've been streaming. That's like a full movie.
Oh, God.
I could have watched Twilight.
I'm sure that's one of your favorite films.
Well, hasn't this been the twilight of your evening, Gillard?
Can I get... that's a good pun. That's a good pun, Rick. You moved up a ranking on the potential replacement co-host list with that one. No, nothing.
Watch out, Ayrton.
Ayrton knows his job's always on the line.
Hey, sorry, my headset died.
Okay.
What I miss?
I
Nothing
just said
at all.
no. I just said that Rick might potentially replace you as co-host. He moved up a line in the ranking.
Ah, damn it.
Oh, thank God. Thank you for turning that off.
But
I was about to get a goddamn seizure over here.
do you? You're welcome. Do I need to? Have I turned it off yet? No, it's off.
Yeah, it's off on the chat. And you gotta remember,
close
guys.
my eyes for like 6 seconds and breathe normal. And kind of.
You should upload that into like a VR file or something so people can watch the Canadian Shield running at them.
While reading the Canadian Shield.
I put it on Twitter and all that, so
Maybe go so far as to make a full VR game where the Canadian Shield is chasing you and will murder you if it catches you.
that sounds like I think you've got the Canadian Shield confused with the buckler.
It's true. There is no action in the Canadian Shield.
Jesus Christ!
There's cold-blooded murder in the buckler.
How did you do it? I still don't understand how you two got hitched together. Like, that still, like, boggles my imagination. Like, me and Ayrton, we make sense. We're both degenerate fucks. We're both alcoholics. We both hail from the South.
Like Will Smith. You guys are like Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones and Men in Black. Like, you make no sense.
No, you're kind of like.
I don't know why you be calling Rick Will Smith. I don't know. I thought I got a little more charisma than that.
No, I'm definitely calling Rick Will Smith.
Yeah. But Will Smith from Wild Wild West, whereas you're Tommy Lee Jones from what's that movie where you can't handle the truth?
The Fugitive.
Yes, that's a good one too.
No, you're thinking of a different movie with Jack Nicholson.
Shut up! It's the same guy. Just change their name for tax purposes. It's kind of like Frank Miller and Neil Gaiman.
Was it A Few Good Men?
No, that was Michael Keaton again. He was playing Birdman.
I sent you a message in general. This is the second to last page of the Buckler, and I thought it came out fantastic.
I'll pull that up. This is hand inking too. I like it.
Yeah, and because of that, I drew her hand a little bit too small and couldn't fix it. So I'll fix it in post.
You get my strong hand.
That makes the page worth more, right?
Yep.
No, those cans make the page worth more, though.
I'm shocked that you draw women with clothes on.
Well, I don't, but I have to put clothes on them. So
He draws them naked and then adds the clothes in post. His editor does that, actually. He just points to them and says, add shirt.
Say add shirt, but not too thick.
Can you imagine how much whiteout that guy goes through just for nipples alone? Oh.
Wait a second. This image on your Gospel of Comics thumbnail here.
Yeah.
It says with your hosts. Is that a depiction of you? Is that a likeness of you?
Which
With
image?
the glasses?
What?
With the glasses.
I don't even see what you're talking about.
Never mind. Okay, so what's happening on this page here on the upper left-hand corner, the Canadian shield is tenderly and caringly using the buckler's cape that he ripped off his back to wrap this woman up. Her dress got ripped with a knife before she got stabbed in the neck. And so he's wrapping her up and taking care to stop the bleeding. And then in the next panel is him on his knees on the floor, crying, looking up after getting shamed by the shield. What's happening? The shield is carrying her up and out of the alley. The Canadian shield is, and then right between that panel and the one with the large one with his face, there's going to be some laughter. These two bimbos here on the bottom, they're laughing at him, and he's going to turn around. And he's going to see him, and he has that murderous intent in his eyes. The girl on the lower right-hand corner, you can see the black-haired girl running back into the building, and this girl's kind of like frozen in fear, and the buckler's going to come up on her right now and teach her a lesson.
That's fantastic.
So is that the page that you got to draw? Him teaching her a lesson, or is it a different page?
No, I already did that page.
I thought so.
Yeah, you saw that one. That was when we, And then the very last page that I have to work on now is the one right after that one where he finishes the deed, where he ends her life, and then realizes what he did, looks up and screams into the rain falling from the sky, and then you see in the corner somebody watching him, and it's none other than beloved anchorman Todd Harrington doing some investigative reporting on the buckler, and he's witnessed this murder firsthand. And that's how the book ends. It's
spoiler alert! God damn it!
Yeah, it's not like some of us paid. Not like some of us paid for this fucking. Read it. Yeah, it's not like somebody paid for this fucking ash can and want to read it. Fucker.
He hasn't put in all the words yet, so you still get to read it. You just don't want to.
He hasn't put the words in because he can't spell, Rick. That's not the point.
Why are you defending this man?
I have no idea.
Your God doesn't defend him. You shouldn't either. Oh. But yeah, that's the second to last page of the buckler.
On our show, Dillard?
He loves us.
Like in actual order.
Egomania,
the
basically.
Third to last page.
Egomania, basically. He's already explained it to us. He comes on our show because we didn't directly invite him, and we were doing a show.
Can you believe the audacity of these guys?
Yeah.
He was like, we're just going to sit here and start a show, and we're not going to...
That's right. That's right. Well, I mean, if you want to be a third...
I thought there was just an open invite for him.
There kind of is. Like, as soon as he showed up in the waiting room, I dragged him in. Like, what the fuck? So, Canadian
There's
Shield...
An invite to debate over who would win in a fight.
Or Dick Cheese. We could debate Dick Cheese or Grizzly Bear versus Gorilla. Yes, I have money on Gorilla, personally.
Oh, you're a fool.
What?
You're a fool. The gorilla has like 3 times the strength of a man. A grizzly bear has like 17 times the strength of a man. What are you talking about?
Cite your sources, fucker. The gorilla can throw an actual punch. The grizzly bear can just non-coherently claw at things.
Cite your sources. Send me a video of a gorilla throwing a punch.
That's right.
And then I will send you a video of a bear.
You first. You made a claim first.
Sharp claws attached to each hand.
You made a claim first. You send me your sources first. 17 times. I want to see it. While I'm waiting on that source, though.
All I know is it would probably be a grizzly fight.
Oh, God damn it.
And he already said grizzly. He didn't say black bear. He said straight up Kodiak grizzly bear. Hold on.
While we're waiting on that, everybody go take a look at the Canadian Shield issue 1. Currently has raised $2,108 by 71 backers. Rick Piper, all perks have free shipping. You can be a baller like I was and back the A Bit Sketchy plus Ashcan. Oh, I never told you what I wanted drawn, did I? I wanted you to draw the buckler for me. Yeah.
And probably Dillard's version, right?
No, I wanted you to. I wanted you to draw me the buckler. Is what I asked for, and you hated me for it.
Okay.
And that's why I kept it. I want everyone I interact with to be as uncomfortable as possible at all times.
I think he should draw now a gorilla beating a grizzly bear in a fight.
No, the sketch is something from the comic itself. I extrapolated that and added the comic and the Ashcan because that's what I paid for, which means I want a 12 by 18 sketch.
Well, technically the sketch was supposed to be one of the characters from Cross Comics, and I was pointing everybody to my website, so one of the characters up on there, but
well, I mean
that's lame.
I want Rick Piper. I want Rick Piper's rendition of the buckler, and then I'm going to stalk Dillard draws until I find him and coerce him to autograph it.
Well, I've come up with basically 2 ideas for my buckler. Do I have the one in here?
I want the one in the diaper that we discussed.
I forget what that is.
The one with Dillard's head out of his mask and the diaper.
Again, I forget about that conversation. I'm forgetting about it as we speak.
It's okay, Rick. I forget most of the conversations I have with church.
That's because of your crippling alcoholism, not because you're a decent person, Ayrton.
It's not crippling. I function just fine.
But anyway, check out the Canadian Shield. Like I said, you can be a baller like me and get the A Bit Sketchy plus Ashcan for $85. Both covers signed, buckler Ashcan, and a 12 by 18 sketch. You can drop down. You can just get the digital Canadian Shield. You can get just the Ashcan. You can get what is this?
The book without being signed. The book signed.
Yep. And you can get the book in the Ashcan.
Want just the Ashcan though?
You can get
Why would you want just the Ashcan though?
Well,
get the good product. And you can get that with it.
7 people want it. I mean, you can get the digital Shield and just the Ashcan for $15. Whereas if you order the physical with the Ashcan of 30, it might be an economy choice, so you can get the whole project.
Yeah. Well, anybody getting the digital Shield will get a digital copy of the buckler as well.
Oh.
I didn't put that in there because it was already taken by the time. You know,
you're just watering down the potency of my book, ain't you?
That's right. I'm personally going to distribute it to all the pirate websites. Not the Shield, just the buckler.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, apparently he's shielding.
Look at this. The biggest gorilla is only 590 pounds. My neighbor is bigger than that.
This motherfucker's still researching gorillas.
It's 500 and then
I'm sorry,
an average Kodiak bear grizzly averages about 1,500 pounds.
Hey, Dylan, that's the biggest one that they've weighed. Doesn't mean there isn't bigger ones.
That's right.
Well, that's not good.
They couldn't get that big.
You could say
They couldn't get that big
There could obviously be bigger Kodiak grizzly bears out there too, then, right?
Well, they couldn't get that big 3,000-pound gorilla on the scale to weigh it because what he did is bent him over and fucked him.
300-pound gorilla, 3,000-pound gorilla has rights. His name is Church.
Hey, don't dox me, bro.
That's racist.
He's an American citizen.
And I've reproduced. What? How many kids you got, Dillard? Fuck you.
Well, that he knows of.
Well, here's the
I only
thing.
got one kid. I'm falling behind.
I think I'm actually Dillard's illegitimate child. So. Anyway, I think that about wraps everything up we had for the show. I mean, we were done an hour ago until Dillard started throwing his shit fit. But, we always encourage our guests to, display their full levels of autism here on the Gospel of Comics. So,
Is Quora a competent website to cite from?
No, it is not. We need at least wiki levels of citing, okay?
Oh, wait, this article in Quora cites wiki. Hold on a second.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen some large Kodiaks and grizzlies. Fear nuggets deployed. I'll take John's word for it that grizzly bears are larger and scarier than gorillas. What he doesn't know is I'm going to walk King Kong out to fight a regular sized grizzly bear. But anyway,
which version of Kong?
With that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a big shout out to Rick Piper and John Dillard for joining us on the show. Shout out Matt Christie, Make Europe Strong Again, Chad Middleton, Opalescent Moonchild, No Final Blackout, Ayrton McCartney, who is here with me today, Matt Christie, and everybody else who checked in. Thank you for watching the show, liking, subscribing, all that nonsense. And come visit us tomorrow when we will be interviewing No Final Blackout. And yes, Dillard, I will extend the invitation to him to go on the gauntlet with you.
I don't want him on my show.
Well, fine. I'll tell him to avoid you at all fucking costs then, you AIDS-ridden piece of shit.
Good night, everybody.
Trying to.
I don't have AIDS.
That was his defense. I'm not a piece of shit. Didn't even come to his mind, but I don't have AIDS. Anyway, thank you, Ayrton, for ending the show so we can have some dignity. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Later on.
It was mostly just because I have to pee.
Oh, okay. Well, go do that. While I end the show. Stop streaming, you fucker.
This guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh no, every time I try and stop the stream, it just doesn't work.